Have you ever wondered if that spark you feel with someone is real, or if it's just in your head? Because the truth is, when it's real, your body knows before your mind does. And today, I'm going to show you 10 undeniable signs that the spark isn't just one-sided, it's mutual. Think about that moment when eye contact lingers just a little longer, when the silence feels comfortable instead of awkward, when laughter comes too easily, and your whole body feels a buzz of energy you can't quite explain. Those are not accidents, they're signals. And once you learn to spot them, you'll never again second guess whether you're imagining chemistry or actually living it. By the way, before we dive deeper into the signs, if you've ever been in that place where you weren't sure if someone felt the same way, hit the like button right now, because what you're about to hear will finally give you the clarity you've been waiting for. You ever meet someone and right away feel like there's something different, but neither of you actually says it out loud? It's almost like the chemistry is floating between you, unspoken but impossible to ignore. The real question is, how do you know if what you're sensing is real or just something your mind is creating? Today I'm going to walk you through 9 clear signs of hidden mutual attraction, the small signals, body language hints, and unconscious actions that show when two people are secretly drawn to each other. There's something powerful about eye contact that words can never truly explain. Think about that moment when you're talking to someone and they hold your gaze just a little longer than usual. It's not the quick, polite glance you give a stranger in a shop. It's heavier. It feels like they're looking into you, not just at you. This is one of the strongest signs of unspoken attraction, because when both people stay in that moment, it sparks an intimacy that feels almost electric. Eye contact like this doesn't happen by chance. We're all trained to look away after a certain time, because long staring can seem strange or even aggressive. But when two people are attracted, instead of breaking the gaze, they let it stay. That pause creates a little world where time feels slower, like you're both caught in a private space no one else can enter. The strength of that look tells you more than any words could ever say. Think about how unusual that is in everyday life. Most people glance away quickly, look at their phones, or avoid eye contact altogether because it feels exposing. But when you find yourself locked into someone's eyes, and they don't look away either, it's a sign of mutual openness. That openness itself is attraction in its purest shape. It's not just curiosity, it's commitment. It's saying without speaking a word, I want to connect with you. That's why eye contact is so magnetic. It's not only how long the gaze lasts, but also how it feels. When attraction is there, the eyes soften. There's a glow, maybe a spark of playfulness, or sometimes a calm seriousness that feels almost spiritual. Pupils may widen, the face relaxes, and suddenly the eyes carry the whole conversation. You don't need clever lines or smart jokes. The energy between you is already saying everything. It's communication without sound, yet louder than any words you could put together. Of course, not every long stare means attraction. Sometimes people hold eye contact for power, persuasion, or simply habit. The difference here is in the reflection. If you feel a small rush inside and you see the same feeling reflected in their face, that's not an accident, that's chemistry. When they meet your gaze, look away briefly, then come back with a slight smile, it becomes like a rhythm. It's a dance both of you join without planning. This kind of gaze often leaves you feeling uplifted afterward. You might walk away replaying it in your mind, wondering why it felt so powerful. That's because the brain reads eye contact as an intimate act. It releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, making you feel close. When the attraction is mutual, that emotional weight doubles. It stays in your memory like a little secret only the two of you share. It becomes a moment that repeats in your thoughts again and again, strengthening the bond even without words. So if you're wondering whether someone feels the same pull you do, watch their eyes. But if they hold, if they soften, if they return again to yours just a little longer than needed, it's not random, it's attraction showing itself in one of the most natural and powerful ways. Another fascinating sign of hidden attraction is something most people miss while it's happening: mirroring. Mirroring is when someone unconsciously copies your movements, tone, or gestures without realizing it. Maybe you cross your legs and seconds later they do the same. Maybe you lean in at the table and suddenly they're leaning in too. This isn't something they plan, it's the body's instinctive way of saying, "I feel connected to you." It's like the body syncing up with someone you're drawn to. What makes mirroring so amazing is that it's not logical, it's automatic. When two people feel attraction, the brain searches for alignment. Without speaking, it starts matching rhythms. If you've ever seen two people in deep talk, both laughing the same way, tilting their heads in similar angles, or even sipping their drinks at nearly the same time, that's mirroring. It shows that underneath the surface, their minds and bodies are tuning into the same channel. That's why it feels so easy, almost like a natural dance neither of them needs to think about. It's important to notice the difference between polite social habits and genuine mirroring. Someone might nod or smile to be polite, but real mirroring is deeper. It's not only gestures, it's the energy. The way they lean forward when you do, the way they soften their tone when you lower yours, the way they pick up your mood and reflect it back. When this happens over and over, it's a strong sign the attraction is mutual, because people don't mirror those they're not interested in. They mirror the ones they're drawn to. There's also the timing that makes mirroring special. When attraction is present, mirroring happens almost instantly, like a reflex. You smile and before they even think, they're smiling back. You tilt your head and theirs shifts in the same way. This quick response is what separates it from fake copying. It's not about trying to impress, it's about being naturally pulled closer by the energy. It feels real because it is real. Attraction is steering the interaction. Another layer of mirroring happens in conversation. Have you noticed how two people who like each other start to use the same words or phrases? One person might say something in a playful tone and the other adopts it naturally. Their speaking style begins to align. Their pace of talking matches up, and suddenly it's like they're speaking the same language. That verbal mirroring is a deeper type of connection. It's not just about physical attraction, but also emotional connection. It shows they're not only interested, but also tuned in to each other's wavelength. What's beautiful about mirroring is that it often leaves both people feeling safe and understood, even if they can't explain why. When someone mirrors us, it quietly tells the brain, we're alike, we belong together. That sense of similarity builds comfort and trust. And that trust naturally increases attraction. It's also why time seems to move faster when you're in these conversations. You lose track of it because everything feels so natural and effortless. The more it happens, the stronger the bond becomes, until you actually start craving being around that person, simply because it feels good to be in rhythm with them. So when you're trying to figure out if there's silent mutual attraction, don't just pay attention to what they say. Watch what their body does. Notice if their gestures reflect yours. See if their voice matches your tone, or if their energy shifts to align with yours. That kind of mirroring isn't coincidence. It's the body showing what the heart already feels. When two people are drawn to each other, another obvious but often unnoticed sign is physical closeness. Attraction has a way of pulling people together without them even realizing it. You'll spot it in small ways, like someone picking the seat next to you when plenty of others are free, or leaning toward you while talking when they could easily stay back. These aren't random choices. They show a quiet need to close the distance, because closeness feels better than space when attraction is present. What's interesting is how unnecessary these movements can look on the surface. Nobody really needs to stand a little closer in a group, lean across the table to hear you, or brush your shoulder when there's lots of space to walk. Yet, when chemistry is there, people naturally find reasons to move nearer. It's almost instinctive, as if their body is magnetized to yours. And when you notice yourself doing it too, without thinking, that's one of the clearest signals of hidden attraction. Think about the conversations in your life that felt electric. Chances are, it wasn't only the eye contact or laughter. It was also the closeness. Maybe you leaned forward and they leaned in as well. Maybe your knees touched under the table or your shoulders brushed while walking together. These aren't accidents, and they're definitely not meaningless. They're the body's subtle way of saying, I want to be near you. Physical closeness creates an invisible bubble around two people, separating them from the rest of the world, even if the room is crowded. It's not only about touch, it's about creating the chance for touch to happen. Attraction often shows up in tiny movements, standing close enough that your hands might brush, choosing to walk side by side, or pulling a chair just a little closer than needed. These small choices are quiet signals of interest. They're ways to test comfort, to see if being close feels welcome. And when both people allow that closeness to remain, or even encourage it, it becomes one of the strongest indicators that attraction goes both ways. Closeness also raises the energy between two people. When someone you're drawn to stands or sits near, you can feel your heartbeat quicken. The awareness of their presence sharpens. Suddenly their scent, their movements, even the sound of their breathing feels more noticeable. That sharp awareness is your body's signal of desire. And when you see them showing the same signs, leaning closer when you lower your voice, staying nearby even when the subject changes, it means they're feeling that same pull. What makes physical closeness so powerful is that it gently crosses the line from casual interaction to intimacy, without anyone needing to say it out loud. You don't have to confess attraction for it to be felt. You just move closer. And if they move closer too, you've built an unspoken agreement. That nearness, when it happens again and again, deepens comfort but also builds tension, the kind of tension that lingers in both people's minds long after the moment is over. So if you're wondering whether attraction is mutual, pay attention to space. Do they often choose closeness when distance would be simpler? Do they lean in, stand near, or create chances for your paths to meet? Because when attraction is alive, space becomes opportunity, and closeness becomes its own secret language of desire. Another clear sign that attraction is in the air is playful teasing. Teasing isn't really about the exact words, it's about the energy underneath. It's when someone makes a light joke, points out something quirky about you, or playfully challenges you. That spark of banter creates tension, but it's the fun kind, the kind that makes you smile, lean forward, and want the moment to last longer. Teasing is a way of saying, I notice you, without having to say it directly. The magic of teasing is in how it creates a little private world between two people. When you're joking back and forth, it feels like slipping into a bubble that no one else can enter. Even in a group, the banter feels like your own secret game. The details don't matter. It could be something silly or trivial. What matters is that you're both locked into that rhythm of back and forth that only works because you're tuned into each other. That playful energy often becomes the heartbeat of mutual attraction. Teasing also works because it mixes tension with comfort. On the surface, you're poking fun, but underneath, you're really saying, I trust you enough to take this risk. And when the other person answers not with offense, but with laughter or a playful comeback, it shows they feel that same comfort and excitement. It's like tossing a ball back and forth. Every joke or playful remark is an invitation. When they throw it back, it's proof they want to stay in the game with you. What's interesting is how banter usually carries a layer of flirtation under the humor. It might be exaggerated mock complaints, silly overstatements, or playful challenges like, I bet you couldn't do that. These little jabs aren't meant to hurt, they're meant to spark. They create just enough tension to pull the other person closer, while wrapping it all in laughter and warmth. That's why teasing is such a strong sign of attraction. It blends connection and tension in a way that feels effortless. You can easily see the difference between polite talk and banter. Polite talk sticks to safe ground, keeps things formal and avoids risk. Banter thrives on play, on surprise, on the spark of excitement. When two people are drawn to each other, their conversations rarely stay formal for long. They push the edges a little. test reactions, and use humor that feels more personal. That shift is the sign that what's happening isn't just friendly, it's charged, and banter has a way of sticking in the mind. You'll often catch yourself replaying a clever line or remembering the way they laughed when you teased them. These moments stay with you because they carry emotion, and emotion is what turns small exchanges into lasting memories. Teasing isn't only about the words, it's about the laughter that follows, the smiles exchanged, and those subtle looks that slip in between. The brain locks onto these little highs, and those memories build anticipation for the next time you see each other. That's why playful teasing often stands out as the best part of an interaction. It turns simple conversations into something magnetic and unforgettable. So if you're trying to spot unspoken attraction, pay attention to how much teasing and playful banter naturally flows between you. If it stays light, fun, and keeps building momentum instead of shutting things down, that's a strong sign the chemistry is real. People don't pour that kind of playful energy into someone unless there's something deeper driving it. Banter is never just banter. It's attraction dressed up as a game. Another powerful yet subtle sign of silent attraction is the sudden shift in energy that happens when two people are near each other. You've felt it before. The entire atmosphere changes the moment they walk into the room. Outsiders may not notice it, but for the two people involved, it's impossible to miss. The conversation becomes livelier, the body language opens up, and suddenly there's a buzz in the air. Attraction has a way of shifting the environment, like someone turned up the brightness on life without saying a single word. This shift appears in small but consistent ways. Maybe you were sitting quietly, distracted, or even a little uninterested. Then they arrive, and suddenly your posture lifts. You feel more awake, more alive, almost as if you just got a burst of energy. On their side, you might notice similar changes. Their tone becomes warmer, laughter comes more easily, and their attention sharpens whenever you're nearby. That shared shift isn't random. It's the body reacting to desire, excitement, and possibility all at the same time. Think about how you feel around someone you aren't drawn to. Your energy doesn't really shift. You might stay polite, maybe even smile, but there's no sudden jolt of adrenaline. But with someone who attracts you, your whole system lights up. Your heartbeat speeds, your senses sharpen, and your mood lifts higher without you even trying. That's the kind of energy change that only attraction can create. That sudden shift in energy is often the easiest way to tell when two people secretly like each other. It's not forced, it's not planned, it just happens. You notice yourself smiling more, even without a reason. You lean in without realizing it. Your voice gets a little lighter, and everything feels more alive when they're around. And when you notice the same response in them, like they perk up, become more animated, or seem more present when you're near, that's attraction showing itself. It's the body's natural way of saying this person matters. Another clear sign of unspoken attraction is touch, or more often, the subtle attempts to create chances for touch. Human touch has an incredible impact. It builds trust, raises oxytocin levels, and deepens bonds without a single word. When two people are attracted to each other, touch often becomes a natural bridge. It might start small, like a hand brushing against yours, a light tap on the arm when joking, or a gentle nudge while walking side by side. These aren't random, they're tests, they're ways of saying, is this closeness welcome? What makes touch so powerful is how quickly the body responds. Even the lightest touch can feel electric when it comes from someone you're drawn to. Your skin becomes more sensitive and your mind replays that touch long after it's over. If it's mutual, the other person will find reasons to touch you too, in ways that seem casual but carry weight. A hand on your back as you walk through a door, fingers brushing when passing something, or shoulders resting closer than needed. When these small touches happen repeatedly, and both people allow them to linger, it's a strong sign the attraction is real and shared. The difference between casual friendliness and attraction through touch often lies in intention. Friendly touch is brief, functional, and forgotten, but attraction-based touch has that extra softness, that tiny pause, that unspoken spark behind it. It's less about necessity and more about desire. And when you notice it flowing both ways, it's not an accident. It's chemistry finding its way into the physical world. Touch also carries unspoken communication. Sometimes a playful tap says, "I'm teasing you." A gentle squeeze on the shoulder says, "I see you." A hand that lingers just a little longer says, "I want to stay connected." The meaning is felt more than understood, and it creates intimacy without a single word being spoken. Another subtle but telling sign of unspoken attraction is how much attention someone gives you compared to others. When people are drawn to each other, their focus naturally sharpens. In a group setting, you may notice their eyes finding you more often, or their body angled toward you even when others are talking. They might laugh harder at your jokes, remember small details you mentioned days ago, or check in on you in little ways no one else does. This extra attention isn't about politeness, it's about priority. Their mind is signaling you matter more than the rest. What's interesting is how effortless this focus feels. They don't have to force it. It's not something they even think about. It just happens. Their phone might stay in their pocket when they're with you, or they give you their full presence even in a busy room. That level of attention is rare, and when it flows both ways, it's one of the clearest signs of attraction. Because real chemistry doesn't just want to be near you, it wants to understand you, notice you, and soak you in. Another layer of this shows up in how much they remember. When someone is interested, their brain naturally stores the details you share, your favorite drink, the story you told last week, the little quirks that make you unique. They bring these details up later, sometimes in casual ways, but it's proof they were paying attention. That memory is a form of care, and when it happens in both directions, it builds an unspoken connection that grows stronger over time. Attraction also has a way of making conversations flow differently. With someone you're not drawn to, talk can feel polite, surface level, or even a little draining. But when attraction is present, time disappears. You find yourself deep in conversation, moving from one topic to the next without effort. Silences feel comfortable instead of awkward, and laughter seems to come easier. That natural rhythm is chemistry in action. It makes you both feel like you could keep talking forever.